Well, welcome everybody to the August 21st, 2018. The time 6:01. This time call this meeting to order. I need approval of the agenda, and with that, I need to request a budget operating resolution to add as new business on the 6th.
And we're tabling one, Mr. Chairman.
And we're tabling 5.
With that said, Mr. Chairman, I make the motion we accept the agenda as written.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
It's our pleasure tonight to have Bert Hickman from Emmanuel Baptist Church. We'll be doing our invocation and pledge.
Let's pray. Father, we come to you today, Father, with a great responsibility, making decisions that affect our community from this point forward. Father, we pray that you give these men wisdom. Father, that the things done here today will improve our community and assure us freedom for the next generation. Father, we pray that all things that are done would honor you. We ask this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Would you pledge with me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tonight we start off with board appointments. You look at your information, pages 1 through 3. We've got a historic preservation board appointment for a 3-year term, beginning September 1st, 2018 through August 31st, 2021. As y'all well aware that the young lady that requests to stay on this board is serving on 2 boards, and she would rather have the this appointment over her previous duties. Miss Margie has already started the advertisement for her replacement under the Planning and Zoning Board.
Yes,
Which is your district, I think, where the opening will create. But she asked to be considered to be reinstated on the Historic Preservation Board appointment.
So, Mr. Chairman, I made the motion we accept Ms. Earlene Hamilton's application to continue serving on the Historic Preservation Board.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
I have it. Thank you. Consent agenda and approval for the minutes. We have our first Tuesday, August 7th, 2018. We have our call meeting on August 9th, 2018 at 3:30. We had a work session on August 9th, 2018 at 4:00 p.m. A call meeting again on August 14th, 2018, 4 p.m. and a work session on August 14th, 2018 at 4:15 p.m. I've had opportunity to look at it. If so, need a motion to approve.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion. We have a second. Second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Let's have it. We have a visitor tonight. We've got Miss Martha Branson. She has to be in Joy Cliff Circle.
thank you, gentlemen and Mrs. Tyson. I'm getting to be a regular, am I not?
Yes, ma'am.
The reason I'm here tonight, I have additional petitioners to add to the original petition that was brought forth, excuse me, on the July 3rd meeting, and I will hand that over at the present time. But I also came early today to go to the Planning and Zoning office to ask if Mr. Mark James, who is building the house on Joy Cliff Circle, 176 Joy Cliff Circle, if he had applied for a variance for the cross. And it is my understanding that he has not. And I have questions, and I was hoping, is Mr. Petrowski here?
He was in a class, I think, in Columbus, and is not going to be able to get back in time. He tried, but the class ran over in the night.
Well, perhaps the county attorney can answer for me.
We can.
If he does not exercise his right to request a variance, what happens?
Well, the first thing is, Ms. Branson, I'm still looking at that issue. I have not given Tim
a final opinion yet. He and I have talked about it several times, and when I give him a final opinion, he'll take whatever action that needs to be taken, if any. But he's very well aware of it, and we're talking about it regularly.
Well, now, I thought at the last commissioners meeting, which preceded the Planning and Zoning Appeals Board meeting, that you said that it was not, the cross was not in compliance. And that's when Mr. Petrowski mentioned about a moratorium. And y'all kind of tossed that around, but I never clearly understood just what that means. So, again, I question, why are y'all discussing it? In addition, what has come up that perhaps we should know?
Well, nothing has changed, but I want to be as certain as I can be about whatever final opinion I give Mr. Petrowski. I want it to be as solid as it can be. That's not unusual to take some time to, there are a lot of other issues going on, a lot of things. It's not going to be months and months before we decide that, and that may be my final opinion. And y'all wanted to know where things stood 2 weeks ago, and that's what my opinion was. I'm not saying it's going to change, but when this is a...
But it sounds like you have changed your mind since you stated, and I heard you and several others heard you say that it was not in compliance.
That was my opinion at that time, a preliminary opinion, and it may be my final opinion. But I don't think we need to rush into it. You wanted to know what the status was, all of you did, 2 weeks ago. I thought you deserved to know where we were then, and I think Mr. Petrowski did too. And there are a number of issues still going on, as I understand it, in connection with that property, that house. So that's where we are.
Well, today I even tried to come by there.
By where?
By 176 to read the sign. It's in such small print, and of course Mr. James has no trespassing signs. But I was trying to read, but much to my shock and dismay, I only learned this afternoon earlier that he has not applied for a variance.
I think that's because he hasn't been told to take it down. That's when he would apply.
If my memory serves me correctly, see, this is the 4th time I've been before this board, and I believe the first time I came, you were not here.
Right.
But that's the reason I came to the last commission meeting, was to get a clear understanding prior to the Planning and Zoning Appeals Board, because it was our intention originally that both of the issues, the school bus stop that he calls it, I call it the outhouse structure, which has been ruled against, and he's been given 30 days to take that down. But I came to that last board meeting hoping that we could table it or put it off so that we could consider both issues at the same time. And it was my understanding that he was not in compliance and that he had the right to file a request for variance, which he has not. And now you're telling me that you haven't made a final decision?
Yes, ma'am. That's what I'm telling you.
Well, when will you make the final decision? And perhaps Mr. James knows about this, and that's why he hasn't filed for a variance.
I've never discussed anything with Mr. James. I've never had a conversation.
Well, I'm not saying that you have.
If Mr. Petrowski told him he has not received an opinion from me, I don't know if Mr. Petrowski told him that or not. But if he knows it, I would imagine that's the way he knows it.
But why am I misunderstanding that I thought what you said, and is off record, and I understand is on the computer, that it was not in compliance? Why are you now saying that that's not your final decision? I still don't understand that.
Well, because I'm not through researching it and looking into it, which is not unusual. You wanted to know where things were 2 weeks ago, and I think you deserve to know, and I didn't want to dodge the issue. I told you what I thought then. But that's why I haven't written a final opinion.
But you didn't say that at that time that was not your final opinion, and I thought it was. And I think a lot of others thought it was.
If I didn't make that clear, I apologize. And I'm not saying that's going to change. But it's an issue that needs to be, I want to be satisfied, 100% satisfied as much as I can be about the answer I give to Mr. Petrowski.
Well, I'm not real happy about it. I'm not real happy about it. I feel like I was misled.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I guess I have no further questions.
Preston.
But could you give me some general idea as to when you will make a final decision?
No, ma'am. It won't be months, I can tell you that, but I can't tell you it's going to be 2 days either. I mean, it'll be as soon as I feel comfortable with it. I'm the one that would have to defend the county in court if we get sued either way. I'm the one who will have to explain to a judge why we took the position we did, and that's why I want to be as comfortable as I can with whatever decision we make. That's what the people of Jones County deserve.
Yeah, we deserve better than what we've gotten, the residents that have been here a long time. We shouldn't have had to come to all these meetings as we've come. In other words, it could have been settled. That was the reason I came to the last commission meeting, was to see if we could put, both things in the same bucket. That was our original intention. And I think I brought you in the packets that I delivered about, I was told before I came to that last meeting that it was a religious symbol and we could not touch it. And then I brought you the law that affects state and federal highways.
That did not apply at all to this situation.
No, but it had
that
in
was the wrong
there.
law. That's not a state highway.
It had exempt signage.
This is not a state law issue.
I know, but down at the bottom, Daylon is the one who read that county and cities should do their own thing, but they should probably take the example of the state law.
It's not county law. That was a state law you brought us, asking us to apply it to a county road.
Well, if I recall correctly, they said, Mr. Petrowski said something about that y'all were going to look into changing your ordinances.
That's where the talk about the moratorium came up that you mentioned a minute ago.
Yes. Well, where is that?
He is studying that.
Who is he?
Tim Petrowski.
Well, I thank you, gentlemen, for your time, but I am not happy.
Thank you, Ms. Branson.
Thank you.
Move on tonight to new business. Number 1 on new business is approval of FY19 Memorandum of Understanding with the Central Georgia Technical College. Who's got that tonight? Jason?
This is an annual agreement with the Central Georgia Technical College whereby they provide adult literacy services to the citizens of Jones County. Each year, the agreement for as far back as I can remember has been that the county pays $20,000 to help with the materials for that program. Mm-hmm. And that is part of the agreement that I asked the board to approve tonight.
All right. Motion to approve. We have a motion to approve. We have a second? Second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Ms. Marty. 2 on our new business is water at the Government Center. Mr. Bonner, I think you asked for, and we've got a handout that was handed to us also for y'all's.
I thank y'all for letting me speak on this matter. Our last bid open was June the 27th, 2018 on the water project for the Jones County Government Center. We had a bid from Piles Plumbing of $187,150 and Watson Plumbing $102,000. I'm asking the board to reject these bids. I would like for the board to consider, let's break it down in phase 1, 2, and 3. The Jones County Government Center is definitely in need for water, fresh water. This is good to all the fixtures, all your plumbing. And we could do that in the phase 1. I have Mr. Tim Ingram's Associates, if he would like to come up, we'll discuss this. He's an engineer that was brought in on this project. Have a set of plans drawn up. I had kind of figured out how we could pay some of this money, and if you see it in there, so discard that because it's been a change of plans. I'm asking the board to figure out how we can fund this project and get this project done. It definitely needs to be done. It's about 3 years running now. And it's cost us several $1,000s of water busting under the ground, under this building, and flooding the DA's office, basically new carpets. The quality of the water is not good because the piping is old and it needs to be replaced. I just want to make that statement. In the phase 1, I'm asking that we could go just bring water from the meter, all your PVC line, all the way through up the top, go above the head, winterize it, go to every fixture, every spigot, all brand new stuff, every water cooler, drinking water coolers, in that phase 1, and basically leave off in the specs and the drawings, if I'm not saying this in the wrong way. Do that in phase 1, just get quality water to every fixture we have in the building. And in phase 2, we had a bunch of, in that reason I want to reject the bill, because we have a lot of electric wiring in there that needs to be done to this building, to where we could add hot water to every laboratory, the basin rooms where we have water, hot water to mops, etc. with. That's phase 2 we could come in and do. We can do without it because it's been without it for the life of the building. But in the phase 3, here if we don't maintain enough pressure, we lose our flush valves that drop out and the water run over all weekend. We run an extremely high water bill. You know, I've added a booster pump, inline booster pump at the courthouse. It seems to be sufficient over there. Those pumps will run $1,200–1,500, you know, versus a $20,000 booster pump that was in the plans to put down by the road, you know, that being phase 3. And I'd like to go through the phase 1, get the water here. Phase 2, get some hot water, and with the booster pump. And if that takes care of the issue, we won't have the need for the main booster pump. If it don't, we're talking about supplying the water for the government center, the shop, EMA, gym. It's all through this whole facility and all our irrigation. You want to lighten this on this matter of what I'm saying? And you looked at the quality and stuff where we're at and the needs for this.
You're in a lot of the areas you're looking at original galvanized piping. It's underneath the floor. Y'all are experiencing a lot of tuberculosis in it, so all that rust and materials getting in the valves, and you're having issues there. One issue that ran our price so high was that the plumbing chases for the bathroom's only 12.5 inches wide, so we're having to go through the walls to get to the plumbing, which was a pretty big ticket item. And then the booster pump station, We set up the load for the building is 75 gallons a minute, big load. We set up a variable frequency drive, small booster pump, because your pressure fluctuates from 30 psi to 50. It's never really constant and the same. And that has caused y'all some problems in the past. So what we were going to look at first was just trying to, there's a new water line to the building, pick up from it, run through the building and get everything done inside first and see if we could get that done at a reasonable price. And then make the tie-ins. All the old plumbing would be completely done away with in this building.
Any questions?
What's your timeline on between phase 1 and 2?
Well, phase 1 is, there's gonna be time for something to do in phase 1 once we get a bid out, accepted, and them actually come and do it. You're probably looking at a couple of months if we started immediately. And that's what we need to be doing, starting immediately. And then the phase 2, it's this point, we want hot water to wash your hands. I have a lot of people come in complaints, so this building have no hot water to wash your hands. And I just a messenger to the complaints.
Right.
You know, that's why we want to do that. But hot water, next hot water, we got to do some update wiring. You know, one thing calls for another thing, which we need to do some update wiring to this whole building.
Really depends on how fast y'all can fund phase 2.
Right. Well, I was looking at why wouldn't we swap phase 2 and 3? Because if you're fixing the problems, which is bad water lines, old water lines, and then not enough pressure, which is causing you to run high water bills and all that, I would think we'd fix the lines, get the water pressure like we want it, and then fix phase 3 would be hot water that we've never had, which is more of a want than a real need.
Phases, you know, we need to move projects. I mean, I'm looking at it and I was trying to figure out how I could fund it, but it's not working, so.
And I guess my question is with Snyder, I guess when are they going to make their proposal? Could we incorporate that, you know, with this project? I mean, it's much needed and I want to support it, but I know they have some recommendations of saving money, being more efficient. So any idea how long?
I don't think, no, I don't think Snyder's more into the, if we replace the fixtures with a lower water consumption, not infrastructure is running the pipes into the building, because we're not going to see any cost savings on that. That's more of a water quality issue and reducing loss of water and loss of fixtures. So I would say phase 1 and 2 are necessary. Phase 2 should be phase 3. And
I mean, I'd like to see in phase 1, you know, if we put at least an inline booster pump in to take care, even if we got new water lines, if you don't maintain at least 50 psi pressure, it's based on how much water's in the tanks in the city, to whether we won't have the adequate pressure. The booster pump would keep the adequate pressure. I'm talking about inline booster pump. You know, I'm not talking about the major. You know, if that works, you know, you're looking at $20,000 savings.
So you want to put that in phase 1?
Yeah,
I like to get
phase 3 is the large one out the road.
Yeah, phase 3 is that big booster pump. You're talking about $20,000
I didn't see putting a phase. I didn't see you putting.
Well, phase 3 is a large booster pump EBS system. I got the brochure of it. That's this pump. I mean, you got to put in a whole new power source. You got to put in a whole concrete pad down there. You got to put in a whole new pump house down there. And then you're looking at major money. I think we can bypass this if we put an inline booster pump in. And we're doing it at the courthouse.
Well, we're going to get better pressure based on having larger pipe ID diameter, right? When we go from old galvanized, I'm sure 3/4 inch pipe is probably 1/4 inch by now.
Yeah, but we're going to run a 3-inch line overhead. We're going to have the volume.
I think we do it inline.
The problem that I know Bobby's worried about is there are some days at the meter you only got 35 pounds at the best, and that's before it goes through the meter and runs to the building.
Well, that's a water pressure problem that I don't know if we're gonna fix with a small booster pump. Then I mean,
well, it's just to maintain the flush valve in this building that it don't break its vacuum and seal. It starts flushing by itself. You know, we maintain that pressure. We ain't worry about going off on Friday and then come in Monday still flushing. We done spent $1,000 gallons of water gone. And it's happened numbers of times.
Do we have a PRZ on the building now?
I don't know.
That would give you some dead space between incoming and the building side of it, so. I think number one, I think phase one is gotta be done. Cause I remember when we first come aboard, one of the first things we had was a shut down DA's office over here because of the flooding in the building. That's definitely not what we want.
Problem we got now, we got all ice machines shut down. I shut them all down. We had no ice. We had to haul ice from Public Works back over here in bags every day. And just added to the maintenance. We was able for it. You know, this, you don't have to frustrate me. You know,
Mr. Chairman,
Martin, would you want to say something?
Absolutely. This goes back to, again, previous statements. Antiquated building. Again, I'm going to make the recommendation that we add our square footage to the courthouse. When I factor in $50,000 a year for a security officer and upwards of maybe $187,000 or $100,000 for the minimal repairs, and there are other things that are going to go wrong, the electrical and the HVAC systems. When you add those in, we're going to spend probably $250,000 to $500,000 on this building, and we know that it's lived its useful life. We have capacity, I think, at this point to really consider the option of moving and adding that space. In the short term, I agree with Commissioner Kitchens. Phase one, phase two, phase one, phase three are necessities. I don't know that we wait 2 to 3 months to do this job. We've invoked an emergency opportunity or platform for fixing an irrigation pump at a golf center. So surely our employees are worth the same. And I'd be willing to do that to get water in the building in the next couple weeks. Let him do the due diligence, so get in the 3 quotes and get water for our people. I hate not having a water fountain to get water from. And for our employees that are here, 40 plus hours a week, the least we could do is give them drinkable water. I think that's reasonable. So again, phase one, phase two phase three to make sure that we have the adequate pressure. And then of course, hot water. I'm really surprised we didn't have hot water, but
the problem is parts of it does, part of it on the other end. You got to cut on that run, and it may take 3, 4, 5 minutes to get there.
I was just gonna say, as a man, we go in there, we're in and out, so we don't really give it time to get hot. So I'm surprised, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it ain't gonna get hot there because there ain't no hot water.
Fair enough.
No more than we have. Are we looking at on demand?
On demand. That's reading all the wiring on demand. When you plug it in, if you come back in phase two, you have to do it. You want to open the case back up, it's going to cost you more.
Yeah.
If you do phase 1 and 2, they fund the phase 1 and 2, I think we're done. I think we're going to be well ahead of the game. And it's going to have to be done. We just got to figure out how we're going to fund it.
Tim, instead of having water heaters at every location, is a hot water booster pump?
We talked about that a little bit, and then we looked at the small inline.
Circulating pump.
Yes, sir. We can bid that as an option that would improve what you have now. But we looked at the little inline on demand that only heat when water's running.
And if you tie 3 sinks to one, the reality is you're going to get what you need. There's very seldom an influx of people in the bathroom.
3 sinks running.
Right.
Well, the problem is with the wiring and whatnot, we had to, they were about 10,000 a piece. The ones we were looking at, I think they were running $1,800 plus installation, plus having to pull wire to the end of the building to get those.
The Eco Boost ones at Walmart are like $399, $400.
How long do they last?
We're not going to be here forever, I hope. I'm just saying.
And that's the problem is we'll make sure whatever we put in, it causes somebody more headaches.
I'd like to see the difference in price if we had hot water recirculating pump.
I think we figured that with the cost analysis, where it pumps all the electricity, the amount of pump over 5 years, I think we well paid for that with the heater battery figured. We had it figured at one time.
We've got a request from
Motion in order.
Motion in order this time, please.
I'll make a motion that we allow Mr. Bonner to move forward with phase 1 and phase 2 with an alternate of, that includes an inline small booster pump, hot water heaters in the public restrooms. I don't think, and an alternate bid for one point of hot water with recirculating pumps.
You know that?
I'm gonna have to listen.
Okay.
And I see you're gonna put 3 projects on hold so we can use the money for these 3
You
projects.
can't do that. I mean, I was trying to put those projects on hold. This hadn't been done, but I was notified that this has been removed and I don't have this money anymore. So all we got, Mr. Jackson, we talked about in building improvements, we had $28,000 that we could move forward in next year's budget. But if this project, if we take $28,000, what I was telling him, if we take $28,000 out of the building improvement, it ain't no other building's gonna get the improvements, and they're only gonna pay a third of what we're trying to do here. So, this decision ought to be made.
Where is this funding going to come from?
That's what I'm asking the board.
My suggestion would probably be to, I think it's wise to hold back a contingency anyway, but particularly in this case, I think in the general fund budget, a portion of that surplus we've discussed, you could hold back as a contingency, wait and see what the bids come in at, and then you allocate that to pay for, or allocate a portion of that to pay for this project. One other thing, Mr. Chairman, and Commissioner, if you could just add to your motion to reject the current bids.
Yeah, that's what I was asking first.
Friendly amendment.
All right. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any more discussion on this matter? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. We move forward tonight. Our number 3 award of more bid for a backup generator. Ms. Risner, are you doing that tonight? I guess you are now.
I guess I will. No, Jeffrey's here. I was looking all around for him back there. That's right. I'll start off talking,
Sure.
and I'll kick it over to Jeffrey.
You see Jeffrey jumping up.
So you'll recall that a few weeks back, the board authorized us going out for bid on backup generators for our 3 well facilities in Haddock. At that time, based on research that we had done, we felt like the purchase of the generators themselves may be $5,000 to $6,000 a piece, plus some money for installation there, and there were funds available in the water operating budget to pay for that. So we issued the bid package, and in your packet there, you have the bids that we received, and we received 4 bids. The low bid from Middle Georgia Electric was in the amount of $71,190, and so it was certainly well above what we had anticipated, well above what we have available in that budget. Jeffrey's done some research to kind of figure out how it came in so much higher than what we anticipated, and it appears that and Jeffrey might want to come speak to this some, but sorry, I didn't mean to throw you under the bus here, but basically the type of generator I think that we were looking at is not powerful enough, I guess, to start up the motors on the wells there.
Yeah, the issue was the motor startup on each of the wells. So the particular units that we had thought would work wouldn't. So it brought with the generators that needed to be placed in there a much larger unit. So therefore, the increased cost. And I was just talking to Jason. I just feel like if we could take a little time and research a little bit more to get a better price through maybe, as an example, the unit that we have at our office is a military surplus unit. And I'd like to see if we can do further research on maybe we can try to get something like that up there. It is my desire to do this, very much so. Also, within the last week and a half, they took a lightning strike, and our telemetry unit is down at Haddock, so he's running the units manually. My desire is to place the Haddock system under SCADA control, this as we are with the other parts of the county. So my desire is to try to do that first. Let's get that corrected. That just happened just recently. It's an old unit, radio unit. The radios we cannot purchase anymore. So it gives me a good opportunity to bring the Haddock system up to where the rest of the system is. I can look at the system from my office. I can control it at my office. I can turn pumps on and off at my office. It's going to be a useful tool, and this is a good opportunity for me to further that. And I'm currently working on getting quotes from J.K. Duran that installed our SCADA system to see what it would be cost-wise there. So my goal is to get the SCADA system, look at other ways that we can get the generator units. We have mobile units that if anything were to happen, we can take it up there, just as we did last year during the storm when they were without power for a whole week. We supplied the water, no problem. But it is my goal to have each pumping station to have a standalone unit. But I just like to just table that temporarily so I can do a little bit more research and see if we can get a better price and get the SCADA system up and going with them, and then pursue the generators.
Any more questions or comments? We'll table it this time, give you the opportunity to look at other options, and we'll go from there. Motion to table.
Second.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye. Okay. Thank you.
Number 4 on the new business, award bid for lighting improvement at Athletic Field. Going.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. We back in June we went out for bid for this project, and we got one bid in return. So we didn't accept that bid, went back out for bid again. I think you have in your packet the amount of people we sent it out to this second time around. Again, we only got one bid back. This time that the bid is $145,750. That is an increase from the original bid price from the first time. So before I make a recommendation, I'll take any questions.
Be quick about it. Make a motion to reject all bids and put it under the ESCO program.
Second.
What's the ESCO program?
The energy savings.
Okay.
The Snyder agreement we got.
That's done.
All right, we have a motion to second. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
We had one opposed for. We tabled 5. Number 6 was the added item, approved budget operating resolution for FY 2019. You have a handout on it. We're going to handle that.
Mr. Chairman, back during the budget workshop, I kind of laid out our schedule from now until budget adoption. We're required to advertise a public hearing on the budget, and you have to wait a week after the public hearing advertisement runs. So that'll run in the paper tomorrow. You have to wait a week, and so we'll We're going to wait a week and a day and plan to hold the public hearing on the budget on August 30th. And then you have to wait 1 week after the public hearing before you can formally adopt the budget. And so that'll bring us, I think, to September 6th. And so this is a operating resolution that'll cover the first 6 days of September until the new budget goes into effect.
Any more questions for Mr. Resner?
Motion to authorize the chairman to sign the resolution.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. Skipping number 5. We're on to old business. Department head, we request to send a letter to regional commissioner asking for the technical assistance to add Matty Wells Gym in South Jones County to the urban redevelopment plan. This was yours, Mr. Martin?
Yes. Mr. Chairman, we recognize that there's an opportunity for economic development, and this puts us in a better position not only as a county and a district, but to any prospective employer that would come in the area to receive tax credits and additional incentives. We did not participate the first go round, and Commissioner Pitts brought that up a couple meetings ago, and it makes sense for us to revisit it at this time. So I'm going to motion that we let the regional commission look to add us to it.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Commissioner comments. Mr. Pitts, would you like to start tonight?
You gonna let the department head speak or no?
We don't have any signed in.
Okay. Department heads.
They don't sign in.
Oh, okay. You got department heads.
Yeah.
They had department heads on the request.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Any department head, Mr. Pelkey?
Appreciate it.
I know Parks and Rec's coming up.
I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that rec football is off and running. Soccer will be starting in the next couple of weeks. So if you're around the ballpark on a Saturday or Tuesday or Thursday, come down and watch some of the kids play football and play soccer. It's a fun time right now. So they don't have to be aware of that.
All right. So, back. Mr. Resner?
Yes, sir.
Done? Now. Mr. Comment.
All right, Mr. Chairman.
When he put the request in the department head.
Yeah. But just, Mr. Chairman, I just want to thank Jason and the entire staff for the hard work they've done when it came to this budget. It's just amazing to see how when you get down and go through the numbers, find out we can make some cuts and make some adjustments to the money that you can find. And just want to thank for the hard work and thank the employees for staying safe. You know, this entire year when it came to workers' comp costs, those numbers were down, and then just being very efficient. So thank you for everything that you guys do. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Kitchen?
I just want to echo exactly what Commissioner Pitts said. During the budget times, finance and Jason and all of the employees we went through line item by line item. There's proof that you can find cuts here and there and still do the essential services that we're required to do. And I am happy, I'm proud of them, and thankful for them, each and every one of our employees. So thanks to all of them.
Thank you. Commissioner Robinson?
This is my 10th budget, and by far it has been the easiest and the simplest to navigate and to deal with. And the credit goes to our administrator. He came up with the format, and he along with Levita Crutchfield have led the way, and of course our employees, the cooperation and the diligence of them also. So, thank you to all of you.
Thank you. Commissioner Martin?
You have to give credit where credit is due. The employees have done an excellent job. I'm happy that we're able to do a give back. I hope that we're able to allow the department heads to reward those that have been performing accordingly. We'll still debate 2, 2, 2, or 4 all the way around. I prefer 4 all the way around, and if you decide to give one person 80% of whatever that 4% is, so be it. If you have a standout, they ought to be rewarded and compensated for their hard work. Saved money, insurance, saved money, workers' comp, saved us money by doing good work for the constituents of the county. Budget, oh my God, this is my 6th one, and this is the easiest. I didn't struggle, with the exception of asking for more money for my district. I'm extremely pleased, and I hope next year we back it up to where we're a month ahead, where we don't go into September. But if that's the only complaint, I'm just going to shut up and say congratulations and keep up the good work.
All right, thank you. All right, citizen comments tonight. All right, we're going to go into executive session, so I need a motion to adjourn to go into executive session for personnel. We will reconvene at that. We'll give the public opportunity to speak after we come back in. So, Mr. Pitt.
Mr. Chair, I made the motion to adjourn to go into executive session.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you.
You the other person in one.